Frederick always gets range.
Frederick lives his range when we go to Raising Cane's. He always gets his little range from Raising Cane's. Hi, welcome back to another episode. Boys Love Only Friends, episode number 7.
The aftermath.
Oh my god. And the party is not slowing down.
If you are one of our girlies, our berets on Patreon, I am apologizing now for the reaction that you just watched because we literally spent 3/4 of the video pausing throughout the first 2 parts of this episode because there was just so much to talk about.
The verdict is that none of these people are friends with each other. That's really at the end of the day.
At the end of the day. I do think this was the first time that people exhibited friendship.
Friendship qualities.
Sure. Yes, qualities, not actual friendship yet.
Yeah.
Because I think this is when people are realizing like, oh yeah, we have not been friends.
There are a lot of realizations happening in the show for sure. Left, right, and center. Ray has driven away from the party, fully drunk.
And he swerves and curves and swerves?
He curves and swerves, and he runs into
something. But
we don't know what happened.
But he is the only one that's hurt.
And he's like
passed out. Yeah.
Sand has followed him. So he watched this happen. And we go straight into title sequence.
They're at the hospital, and basically, like, he waits for Ray to come to.
He probably has a broken shoulder. We're gonna do an MRI.
Oh my god, there is nothing more stressful than a damn MRI. Adam watched me get one.
Oh my god, it was terrible.
And I was like, I almost was about to have a panic attack
because you can't move.
Right, you can't move. And the girlie was like, "Don't forget, you can't move. Otherwise, we're gonna have to like
do it all again." And it's like 45 minutes
of just standing still.
Of just being still.
And obviously, if you know that, then all you're thinking about is not to move.
Yeah.
And I was in so much pain.
And it was just gout.
That's the stupidest part. It was just gout. It was just because I was eating too much red meat.
You were drinking a lot of beer.
I was. It was a lot of beer.
A lot of tuna. That was your daily tuna bowls. You were doing it to yourself.
I know.
That's what's crazy. Time. Yeah. Sand tells Ray that he could have been a murderer, which is true. He could have killed somebody. I hope that gets through. I don't think it will, but I like that Sand is trying. I do think. Okay, I'm gonna say something about this.
Sand is trying to actually make him better, like a better person.
Sand is trying to make him better for sure. Their fallout last night was so bad. This turn into like them being jovial at the hospital bed is a little too 180'd for me. Yeah. It's a little. I need Sand to be a little more upset than he actually is.
But I think it shows more of like this compelling something about Ray is just like he can't. He's magnetized. Which is so funny. I mean, it's not unlike the Nick in Boston, how Nick feels for Boston. It's just in a different energy.
Ray's dad comes to the hospital.
And I groaned. I don't need the parents. I really don't need. And I know, obviously, if they are trying to make it realistic, especially for Ray, who is just like basically a rich boy living off of his dad's money.
I was just about to ask a dumb question. I was going to say, because so far we've met 2 parents.
Yeah.
We've met Sand's mom and Boston's dad. You liked Sand's mom.
I liked Sand's mom.
You don't like Boston's dad.
I don't like Boston's dad.
You don't like Ray's dad. So then I was like, well, what if they had brought in Ray's mom? And then I was like, well.
And it goes, and then it becomes a supernatural show.
So the dad comes, and he is like weirdly only upset about the car.
The car, and like the police found a bottle of alcohol.
You'll get fined.
Yeah.
First of all, y'all are rich, so that shouldn't even be an issue, to be honest, for you people.
But his whole thing was like, I don't even know why I bothered like trying to get you out of this predicament. I should have just let them arrest you.
What you should have done, sir, is get your son help. How about that? How about get him to rehab?
Putting him to rehab, girl.
How about anything other than being like, I can't believe the car's totaled. Girl, if you don't shut the...
You were like, Boston is doing what he's doing because he never gets attention from his dad. And I was like, it's Ray.
It's a part of it.
It's a mix of everything. But at least now it does feel like that because he's like, he's the only person.
Well, Ray is the part where he's like, well, I don't know if you've noticed, but two of your loved ones have developed alcohol problems, so maybe you need to reflect. And I was like,
The call is coming from inside the house, girl.
Calls on lines 1, 2, and 3, honey. Him and Sand are like sitting in the hallway. Do you remember this? Because now thinking about the rest of this episode, I'm curious. He says, I need your help.
I need your help.
And then we do not find out what that help is.
Can you like...
I definitely don't think it's bathe with my son.
No. But I think it's like, can you just try to make sure that he doesn't kill someone?
No, I think it's something very specific, and that's why they didn't show it. Because it's going to come back up again later. It's very pointed to be like, hey, I need you to do something for me, and then cut the scene right after.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's not referenced again. So I don't know if it's...
it might be a flashback. In the teaser for next episode is that Ray fully like devolves because now he's been enabled to do so.
Well, it's weird. Okay, this is the other weird thing. So he has this moment at the bedside with Sand where he's like, you saved my life. This is the second time you saved my life. Technically the first time Sand drove him home.
Yeah.
And because I think nothing really happened, it's easy to write that off. This feels like genuinely you saved my life situation.
He did not have to follow you.
Correct.
You pushed him away.
So I thought, this is going to be when he starts changing his like
ways.
Obsession with Mew because Mew saved his life to Sand saved my life. And it doesn't, based on the events of this episode, it doesn't seem like that happens.
And I also think we are just stubborn enough to be like, he's not in love with Mew. Now I'm starting to doubt myself. I think it's still misplaced, but I think it's messier than what we think. I think it's messier of like...
You think the show's messy?
No, I just think that it's harder for him to... I think it's going to be a big deal later that he's like, oh, I'm in love with Sand. I love Mew.
If you're a person who basically grew up not in a loving environment, as clearly Ray,
you don't know how to distinguish
doesn't know what
anything.
That is. Yeah.
You're going to take in any sort of kindness. You're never going to take... You will never trust what people's intentions are when they are kind to you. Because you'll always be like, oh, then that means, do I latch on to him? Is this now like we're in love?
Right.
Do I trust this person? It's...
Only mess. So Chum and Mew are hanging out, and Chum is like, I can't... what an asshole. I can't believe I was on Top's side saying you should like get with him. He's just a motherfucker. Somehow Chum does make it about her, which is very funny.
I do feel like it's a natural response for people because like if you're trying to console someone, the first thing you do is like, well, how do I access this? And I think she means well.
Oh, I don't think it's malicious at all.
But that is just always interesting to look at because that happens a lot.
It happens a lot, and I think it's also like you have to learn how to not. It's it's just a natural thing, and you have to learn how to like turn that off for a second.
Or just like understand what needs to be done and said in a certain situation.
Yeah. But I think also there's people who the way they relate. I'm just talking like conversationally at least. Sometimes it can seem like someone is like centering themselves in the narrative when they're having a conversation, but really they're like referencing their own experiences in order to like build the like conversation relationship.
Yeah. But it's fun. It was just fun.
That's what I'm saying. I do that. So sorry.
It's just fun. It's fun when Chum was trying to do it. But I was more upset that she was like, it started with the Top.
She started with Top.
But I do think
she did get to Boston.
She does get to Boston. But I do think it's because that's who you're immediately going to blame for because that's who Mew is with.
But in the cultural conversation around cheating, for decades it was always like, oh, the other woman. Something. And I think now we're really starting to be like, well, no, the person who cheated is the problem.
Yeah.
With this, it's different because
it's your friend.
Alleged. It's not an affair with your secretary.
Yes.
It's someone who's supposedly very close to you.
And Mew,
I think there's more of maybe an equal amount of blame that should be shared there.
But Mew was like, oh, I don't really care about Boston because he's a fucking shithead and he's an asshole, and I think he deserves equal treatment of how he's treated other people. And like literally Adam and I were like, well, the villain era has begun.
Yeah. Machiavellian. Mew says he is done being the good guy. I think that's good for this character development.
Absolutely.
I think that's good for the story as a narrative.
The story as a narrative.
Good.
Yeah.
I think it's good we move on from the doe-eyed Mew energy. My take is not that Mew is a conniving character, but Mew is capable of more than he lets on. And I'm glad that in this episode I was like, okay, so it was actually there.
Every time we felt like there was something going on behind his eyes, he's actively choosing the like pacifist option.
Yes.
He's like, I'm going to choose the option to not ruffle any feathers.
Right.
Be the good person here. Blah, 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 blah. Like telling Top he doesn't want to sleep with a coke fiend. Or telling Ray he doesn't think of him that way. Like, it just made me think like, oh yeah, he's known every single time. It's not that he was like swayed. He's not
very
actively
sure of
participating.
himself. Yeah.
In like what happens to him.
Totally. The moment with the cookie, the moment he wants to win.
Yeah.
He wants to be in control of the strings.
Yes, yeah.
But I'm glad I was like, okay, I wasn't just reading into that.
But it's those things though that like that's the person you don't want to piss off because they know
No.
They know that they're they know their options and they're always choosing the one, but they know the second option exists.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting now.
Calculating.
Because we were always like, what's his relationship with Boston? Does he hate Boston? Why? And I think he's just like, I think he just sees Boston for what it is. And he's like, I just don't want to choose that option.
It's good.
It's good.
I like this turn for his character a lot. I think it's very fun. I think this episode is really good. Top goes over to Boston.
Barge is in Boston's.
With a weird zoom.
Boston!
And he yells at him and his like, he knows.
Are you doing this to blackmail me?
Yeah.
He knows because he heard the clip.
Oh boy. The snowball is out. I mean, it's become like a full avalanche at this point.
Truly.
It's destroying everything in
someone
its
at the top of the peak sneezed.
Yes.
And now it's just...
And the avalanche is crumbling every town and village in its wake. Because Top thought Boston recorded the audio.
Yeah.
And Boston's like, no, I wouldn't do that. He was like, well, it was in the car.
So
it was
someone
recorded
knows.
from the car, so someone knows.
Which is so funny because he knew that Nick knew.
He did know that Nick knew,
but he didn't know how.
But you could also be like, oh, Nick found the audio on Boston's phone or something like that. He could also just think Boston just told Nick too.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
I mean, I guess they know that he makes websites, but like nobody knows he works at a store that has like this equipment.
He installed security cameras in the house.
Oh, that's true. I forgot that part. So
Boston gets back to his car.
He's a whore.
And he's like, something's here. And that's when Adam was like, you didn't take it out.
I can't believe Nick has just left it in the car. And I don't know if he's maybe hoping he's going to get more intel. I'm going to say this. This is the one thing now I'm asking the question. I don't know why did you bug his car in the first place?
Right. I mean, he says it's because... So, Boston finds the bug. He confronts him in the store.
And he's doing inventory.
This is like the most tedious part of retail.
I know. Ugh.
He says it's because I felt like there was still something going on with you and Top, that you were still mingling. And so I wanted to know.
But like, then you found out. I mean, I guess he did tell Top, don't see him again. But he only didn't see him again because Top had already made the decision that he didn't want to do that with Boston again. It had nothing really to do with Nick being like, I'm an alpha. You know what I mean? It's
just a circumstance that they, in order to make the plot.
No, that's fine.
No, but like, yeah, you're totally right. Like, it's still a little murky.
There's not a great reason why you would record.
I wish they did a little bit more of like Nick kind of one-upping Boston, like smarts wise, in like snooping in his phone. You know what I mean? There was that one scene, obviously, of him snooping in his phone when he was getting it fixed. But I wish there was a little bit more of like getting the upper hand because he just is more tech savvy. That I feel like, or something.
The problem is that Top and Mew have the he cheated on me storyline. So you can't then also have the same storyline with Boston and Nick, so they can't be dating. But this is only really a thing that you would do if you were dating. I mean, I still think I believe Nick would do this.
Yeah.
I just don't see there's not a strong reason, especially at the point of the show in which he bugs his car.
I almost wish that Boston, even though I don't think it would make sense at the time for his character, I almost wish he just made the fake lie of like, okay, I won't sleep with anyone.
That's what I wish it was. Not that we're dating, but like, okay, it's just
You're my only one. You're the only one that I'm sleeping with.
Maybe I wish they had found out about the move to New York sooner. So then he was like, yeah, but you're the only one I'm sleeping with until I leave. And then that's when he like
sets
does
it more of like I don't believe that at all.
I mean, really what you could do, if you really want to get into gay shit, what you could do is be like, Boston wants to have
a threesome.
No, Boston wants to have sex without a condom. Sex without protection. And he's like, well, I'm not sleeping with anybody. But Nick doesn't believe him. So that's why he bugs his car. But then it's like, but then why would you still keep sleeping with Boston? That's the question.
Boston is fully like, well, you ruined everything. You blew up my life. Blah, 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 blah. Deserved. But Nick, oh my God, this was really heartbreaking to watch because Mark does a really great job with this. But Nick is like, at first, he goes through all the stages, right? He's first like, no. He's taking it back. He's like, no, I'm sorry. And then it's like, well, I only did it because I didn't know if you and Top were actually really done or if there was still something between you two. Mm-hmm. And then when Boston yells at him, then he's like, well, you slept with your best friend's boyfriend. So like, you're not innocent or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then Boston is like, his defense is basically like, it's none of your business, which he does multiple times in this episode that I'm like, but that gives me energy of like, oh, you don't have like empathy for other people.
Oh, totally. I mean, I think he is a sociopath.
Ooh, yeah.
Unfortunately. And I don't like to diagnose, but like he's not a real person, so it's fine.
Yes. There is something like, you don't actually care about other people. Yes, obviously you can make your own decisions or whatever, and they don't have to technically care because you are your own person.
You're a free agent, yeah. But then you can't be mad about the consequences of those actions that you did either. You can't be like, everybody hates me now. Girl.
It's their fault because they are getting into my business.
Right. No, girl, it's because you're mess.
Because you're an asshole.
You're absolutely messy. Can I say this, though? Of all the characters on the show, I feel very connected to Nick. I think...
You said it in the reaction.
Yes.
I think you've been in this position before, basically.
Yes.
Not in this exact position.
Not in this exact position.
Not bugging
I've
him.
never been doing inventory and been confronted.
I've never built a flyer for a congressman.
That's almost not true, though.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Not congressman.
Not congressman. Local level. Performance of him breaking down and revealing that I'm going to say this. He believes that he loves Boston.
That was his like big plea at the end before Boston like is like, never talk to me ever again. He grabs his hand and says, but I love you.
This is a riveting performance of heartbreak. And I do think he's heartbroken because I think what he's in love with about Boston, and I'm not just going to whittle it down to just being digmatized, although he obviously is. I think he's in love with the excitement of all of it. Yeah. Like it's all just like pure passion. Mm-hmm. And it's so, you've never had it before. Mm-hmm. And like, you're just on this riding this high. And of course you're upset that that's going to go away. But like, he's not good for you, babe.
Nor.
And you're so cute. You could get so many. You're so cute, Nick. So it was very hard to watch. I actually had to look away from the screen because I am a sympathy crier. And if I can tell it's like really struggles, if it's like really hard.
It's very vulnerable, yeah.
I can't. So I couldn't watch this part. The other thing he tells him when he says I love you is he also tells him he wants him to love only him. To which Boston is like, but I've never loved you at all. So how would that be possible? if you're looking inward and you realize that you're in a similar situation to Nick, I just urge you to like take action now before you get hurt in the process. Because it sucks.
Oprah said, listen to the whispers.
Listen
if
to
you
the whispers.
already have a reason,
When someone shows you
who they really are, like just believe in it. Listen to it.
You also said, I love bread. What if they had told you couldn't eat bread? What if it was like, you can't have rice anymore?
I'd be crying like Nick, girl.
Oh.
But instead of Boston, it's rice. But I love rice.
I also like, the other thing I want to say about this cry scene before we move on is that he is not scared to look bad.
I know.
And that I think hurt even worse. Because it felt so much more real. It looks like he is real. It doesn't look like he's pretty crying. He is like wailing. Yeah, it's bad. Top comes over to Muse. Girl, this man shows up. In this episode at all of the inopportune times.
Yeah. He obviously, Force looks fucking amazing.
I'm so sick of him.
But this is not the time to look good. Amazing.
Thank you. Say this.
You need to have disheveled hair.
Yeah.
Oversized shirts, like an old
huge
hoodie, like from your like high school. Like ratty,
just
tattered.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Maybe
sweats.
it has a stain. Sweats.
Mm-hmm. Don't shave.
And not like, oh, I'm wearing gray sweat so you can see. No. It's like it's bad.
Like Navy Champion brand ass.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't shave. Stubble. Uneven. Splotchy.
Yeah, splotchy. Don't put makeup on. Don't do your hair. We already said that. Dirty shoes. Look a mess.
Look
tear stained. If you have to, just rub your eyes a bunch.
Swollen eyes.
Yeah, you should. Maybe eat like a whole bag of potato chips, just so you have like a real swollen face, like puffy.
Eat the ramen raw.
Ramen. Yeah, you gotta. If you're going in to be like, I am distraught.
I need you so much in my life. Please forgive me.
Look at look how bad I look.
Don't look like you could easily pick someone up again on your way out of his apartment.
Yes, thank you.
He basically comes in and is like, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna
win you back.
I'm gonna win you back.
Sure. Of course he is.
Of course.
That we knew as soon as this happened. We knew that was going to happen.
Mew becomes Eliza from Hamilton. He picks up the sketches, right? He lights his lighter and goes, I'm erasing myself from this narrative.
Yeah.
So that history will never know how Mew reacted.
Yeah.
When you ruined our lives. Do you know what Ray said? You have married an Icarus. He has flown too close to the sun. It's so dramatic.
It is the most dramatic. I'm going to say, though, I believe a gay person would do this.
I believe.
There's sometimes in straight BLs.
This is why it's so annoying that there are no, like, gay soaps, because we
are the group. We are the ones. We will give you the high drama.
That is our lives. Gay men live like this.
Yes. I'm not saying we should emulate that. I'm saying it's just we are a more dramatic group of people, and this is emblematic of that.
This is my fight song.
Take back my life song. Yeah. He burns the sketches. And Top is like,
you forfeit all right to my heart. You forfeit all right to our bed.
You'll sleep in your office instead. With only the memories of when you were mine.
And then at the end he goes.
And I'll do it as Bernadette Peters. I hope that you'll burn.
I'll do it as Patti LuPone. I hope that you burn. I'll do it as the late great Elaine Stritch. I hope that you'll burn. Stupid. Probably the best moment I've ever in this entire show so far.
Yeah. There is this moment in this conversation earlier before the burning where
The burning of Alexandria.
Top is like, I don't even care if you and Ray hooked up now. And it's like, again, we did it. This is what's crazy is like, you're not hearing. You're not listening.
What's not clicking?
What's not clicking? You're not listening to what he's already told you. The most we have ever done is kissed. Period. There was a whole scene where Mew, in this exact apartment, by the way, was like, I really just want to get everything out in the open. And this is when he told you. So you just weren't, girl, take the earbuds out, okay? Take them out.
Yeah. And he's like, but I thought you guys, I was so mad.
Oh yeah, they're definitely, he's like, they have definitely fucked, so he's playing you and pretending that he's a virgin. We also have to get over the.
We have to get over the virgin thing
from
because
virginity.
That's the thing. That was his whole thing.
I don't care if Mew had been having sex with 3 people every other day for the last like 6 years of his life, girl. He is allowed to start dating you and be like, I want to wait until a time frame to have sex with you.
He could have easily been.
That's also okay.
Yeah.
And you need to grow up, Top.
Grow up, Top.
I hate him. He's so hot.
He's so hot.
Mew is a much better person than me because like minute 1, he would have looked at me and I would have been like, now? Sand is now helping Ray. He's his nurse while he's recovering. Well, how does he say it? Can you demonstrate how he's sitting on the chair?
He goes.
With his broken arm.
Girl, don't lean on your damn injured arm.
No.
Step 1, girl.
Who do I want to blame more? I think, Cal, you have some responsibility here. You are wearing the cast in the scene. You should know that you should not be leaning on this arm. Also, the director, what did we...
Someone should have said...
He has a broken arm. Why are you sitting like that? Okay. That's all. I needed to point that out.
But he tells him he needs help in the shower or like a bath.
Somehow, these two
shower
have
and a
rebounded from this horrible night so quickly that they're like, we're horny. Everyone else's lives are falling apart, and these two are like
back to being intimate.
Yeah, it's very weird.
They have this where your eyes linger moment where he's like, Ray is sitting on the bathtub and Sand is applying shaving cream and shaving it as if he was painting, just like
spackling a wall. This is not.
I don't even know why you made it shaving. You could have, because he's shaving. Okay,
I want to say a couple things. He has a free arm. Listen, I'll go along for the ride that Ray is fully using this to be like, I want to still fuck or whatever's happening.
I want to get close to you again.
Right. Fine. I just wish they had come up with something a little better, or the cast was bigger, or just like I needed less mobility, because I don't believe that Sand would be like, you have a fully working arm. Why do you?
Almost wish that it was a full cast like this, so he couldn't bend it, because then it would make sense.
Yes.
Like,
I mean, he still has another.
But he still has another arm.
The shaving thing doesn't work, and also he's not actually shaving his face. As someone who shaves their face, I can tell you that that's not how you do it.
But he asks Sand, will you bother with me?
Yeah, he has to take a bath as they're both sitting in their underwear.
Sure.
They're clearly able to simulate some stuff.
Yeah, girl. We'll see the tapes in a little bit.
If you're taking a bath, and they've definitely seen each other naked.
Yeah.
I was like, why are we being so coy about, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's very interesting. Because you could just do the shot of like the bottom of their feet and then everything coming down. And then he like steps in. Mm-hmm. So you don't see anything. I just was like, oh, you're purposely showing they're getting in their underwear. And it kind of like bumped me a little bit.
Yeah.
I would never take a bath in my underwear. I would barely get in a hot tub in my underwear. And that's period. Now they're at the Airbnb. This is like where Mew fully confirms that him and Top have broken up. Okay. It's donezo, obviously. I kind of wish we had seen that conversation. Unless it's implied that
I think it's implied at the end of either the burning or what happens in between the 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, Chum is like, what the fuck? Now you broke your arm too that night? Now I feel bad that I was so mad at you.
Yeah, she makes it about herself again. It's very funny.
It's very funny. I mean, at this point, it feels just more of like
she's charming. I don't care.
Yeah,
I think it's funny. She is the least of the problems here in this situation. Boston shows up.
His excuse was like, I heard my friend broke his arm, so I want to blah, blah, blah. And Mew literally was like, oh, interesting. Now you call him a friend when you haven't done anything friend-like.
Ever. Boston does the thing that's so annoying, where it's like, oh, I'm just so unbothered. Yeah, just go ahead and yell at me. I don't care. It's fine.
Yes, he's like, oh well, I'm here, so you can yell at me.
Just vent it out, and then you'll be fine. I know you're the one who's having a fit, and it's like, you're a bad person. You're a horrible monster.
You literally ruined your friends' lives.
Yes. You don't get to be like, oh, you guys are just being hysterical. He does say in the scene, because he eventually gets tired of Mew like digging at him. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, yeah, guess what? We fucked before. And guess what, Mimi? So basically, he picked me before he ever picked you.
Which we said that was what this was all about. And even if this was a mature situation, right? And Boston says that, if I was me, I'd be like, okay, you did it. Now I never want to speak to you ever again.
Yeah,
so
I don't even know.
Was it worth completely not being anyone's friend now?
Yeah. I'm getting Choom. Ray's obviously stuck with me.
Who do you
have? New York.
Bye. If this is how you wanted to leave,
great. Good job.
Great.
They're not going to be nicer to you in New York. New York? Pull that shit, New York. I beg you, pull that shit, New York.
Why would you when you're already seeing a little Bangkok girly? Kick him in the pool.
And then hiya. And then like punch
the water.
And like I'm not gonna keep harping about this, but there's punching.
It's punching involved. And Choom literally is like, Boston, you are the scum of the earth. You're an actual asshole. We don't want to see you anymore. Get the fuck out.
I think that's verbatim what she says.
Yeah. Like he's mad and scowling, and it's just like, girl, look
there is
fucking
no
inward.
I love that they used him getting out of the shot of him like walking out of the pool, because you cannot full clothes. You can't look cool getting out of a pool. No. You look dumb. You look like a wet cat. It's so funny. Even if you like, whatever, you're a brat. Nick is moving out of Sand's place.
Because he pieced the puzzle together.
He puzzle pieced.
That it's like, but it's so funny because Sand's like, oh, what are you doing? Are you moving? He's like, well, I can't live here because there's a thief. And Sand is like, oh my God, what happened? Like,
Did somebody steal something?
Did someone steal something from us? And he's like, yes, you.
And Sand immediately was like, yeah, I did. Because I was trying to ruin Top's life. Because I'm still mad about this ex. I'm trying to get revenge.
He's like, well, you ruined my life. And now Boston doesn't want to be with me. Boston broke up with me.
Another scene I couldn't
And Sand was like, I'm sorry that happened. I really do love that Sand was like, but he is not a person you should be with.
I know. And Nick is just...
He says the same thing that Boston says to him. It's none of your business.
Yeah. But he also reveals he was like, he almost loved me. He like says he was so close.
But I love him so much.
He says he was close to like loving me.
He was so close.
That is so heartbreaking. And he breaks down. No, he wasn't, girl.
No, he wasn't. He breaks down. Sand holds him.
It's so tender.
And he's like, don't hold me. And Sand is like, just like, no. It just, I am so sorry.
And you do feel...
and you get, Sand is like, I know more about how you feel than you think I do.
I think Sand is actually genuinely apologetic to having Nick hurt in this way.
Yeah.
Because that was obviously not intentioned. I think it's a very nice scene, and I really appreciated it because there has been so much like fake friendship moments in the show that I was glad it was like, okay, this is like what it... Even when people do stuff that's wrong, you can like move past it or like work through it by like just being like, I'm sorry this happened.
And I do like that Sand was like, I did it because to get back at Top.
And the other thing is it's like, Sand's whole thing isn't like, well, you shouldn't like him anyway. Like, it's not like being mad that he likes him.
Yes.
Because he can't, he knows, because he likes Ray, that you can't help who the fuck you're falling in love with sometimes. Even if you're not really in love. There is a shot in this episode.
This is what I'm saying. Why do we not have soap operas?
This is, I guess
BLs are
fucking
gay soap
iconic.
operas.
I want...
It becomes like full A24 horror.
Yes.
Mew just dips into the water and then like
opens his eyes.
Open.
And then like comes out of the water with a realization.
With the realization of what he's going to do.
Taking a bath.
While he's taking a bath, he calls Nick and he says, look, Nicholas, you know we've both been wronged here.
This scene is also shot. It's shot like the scene in like Basic Instinct, where it's like face on. I thought that was really interesting because there's not been, the last time they did direct to the camera was the dining sequence.
Boston deserves the same shit that he keeps giving out. So I just need something.
Yes,
right?
Because he went through this whole thing of being like, I still love him. He still wants to be with him, obviously. He doesn't want to make it worse for himself. But this is where Mew knows that everyone feels bad for Mew right now.
Yeah.
Because he is the ultimate victim in this situation. So he's using that to his advantage to bat his little eyes and be like, I just need something to get back at him. And he knows it's going to work because Nick feels bad for Mew.
Yes.
Because everyone feels bad for Mew. Yeah. And so Nick's like, well, there's this girly named Gap.
There's a girly named Gap. He basically has an OnlyFans account where he rigs his house with security cams, and it's just all the guys that he's hooked up with.
Mew goes to the club.
Mew goes to the gay club and sees him and like accidentally bumps into him. Plays the character perfectly, right?
Oh, it's
he's
so
like,
good.
Oh my God, I think I recognize you. I think I'm a fan.
I think I'm a fan of your work. And Gap's like, great.
He's like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And like basically cruises him because he looks back.
This is crazy.
Gap's like, were you trying to pick me up? And Mew says, well, it worked, didn't it? You're here.
And so Gap is like, let's do it here in the
Let's
bathroom.
fuck.
And Mew's like,
Or
let's go back to your
we
place.
can go to your place so we can film. He is ravaging him on this wall.
I love how bored Mew looks during this too.
Before I was like, what is this relationship with sex that Mew has that he just like can't give it up or whatever? And the revelation to be like, he just knows what it is. Sex is just sex. He just doesn't see
he just
the inherent...
wants it to be with someone.
Yes. Yeah. He just sees that like people put so much into it that it's like, it doesn't matter. It only matters if there is like a real kind of connection and intent with it. So it's just so...
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
It's not that he's like
and
scared of it.
Interesting. It's not at all, which I thought it was because obviously it's top. So can I see your proof of concept first? Like before I, become a contractor, before I get a cut.
Yeah.
Can I just see the quality?
The only thing that bugged me about that was that he was like,
I'm a fan.
He was a fan. Yeah.
But it was more of like, can I just see like how it would be normally filmed, just so I feel, because I don't want my face.
He doesn't want his face in it, so I want to make sure the angles are good. Yes. They're about to start, and he's like, actually, you smell like smoke from the bar.
Can you shower?
Can you shower real quick?
The fastest shower.
He didn't even come back with his hair wet, which, baby, your hair is holding a lot of those smells, to be clear. If you're in a place that's smoky, so he gets on the computer and
looks for...
It's so hard to find, and then he does happen to find it in the folder called Boston. Girl,
you're on a fucking PC. Click the little arrow on name. It'll automatically file it by...
Or just search. Come on, girl. So he looks for it. He finds it. He puts it onto this USB
Flash
drive. And then Gap comes out of the bathroom and is like, what the fuck are you doing?
And he's like, well, you caught me. I have proof, and like flips it around immediately to be like, well, I have proof that you shot my friend without consent, and I could get you arrested for that.
Mew in this
Mewstermind.
Yes.
He's reclaiming what people have been like mocking him about. I have actually known that, and I chose the entire time to.
And also, look at who his friends are. He knows how to do this. He's been watching them. He's hanging out with Boston's dad.
Oh.
And Boston comes home and is like,
what the
fuck are you doing here? And Mew's like, I told you I was coming over.
Oh my God, you forgot. You're so crazy. Anyway, I didn't know you haven't told him about the short film that you made with Gap. Which it's so crazy because it's so good.
The short film is so good. You're such an actor.
Yeah. And the dad's like, oh my God, great. Another surprise I don't know about him. He's like, yeah, well, let me show it to you because it's so good.
Opens the laptop.
Closes
Boston closes the laptop. And it's like, can I
need
speak to you, please? And then this is the first time Boston has, I don't want to say looked sad or like
it's
regretful.
Power. It's the first time he's been caught, but in a sense
he
that
looks
like
scared.
He doesn't have a way out.
Yes. They do this whole thing, and Mew finally is like, I would never show this to your dad because if I did, then I'd be just like you.
I know. And that's the point, right? That is the point.
Yeah, but I kind of just wanted to do it anyway.
I love that he was like, it's not about all the shit that we do. It's not about the actions. It's not about you getting caught and me yelling at you and then it's done. Mm-hmm. It's the fact that you did this to people that you're supposed to be friends with.
Yes. But he also should have just shown it to
Sure. Or just like fucking...
Or send it to
the fucking
newspaper
campaign.
Or whatever, yeah.
I don't think the newspaper, but definitely send it to the campaign.
He gives him back the thumb drive too. The
yes, he gives him the
drive.
USB.
God, I sound like
your mother.
I sound like my mom.
He gives him the flash drive, but he shows it that it's in his phone. So basically he's like, I'll always have this.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's the least that I can have for what you've done to me.
How does his dad not know that because he's like, my dad doesn't know about my extracurricular activities, basically. Boston, you don't try to hide it. I don't even understand. How does no one know about this?
You're notorious, girl.
Your dad, I believe it's easy to hide things from your parents. I can tell you that. But your dad is running for office. Does he not have a campaign who like makes sure that his family shit is kosher? All four of these friendies meet. And they're like, well, we have to work on this project
Shum was like, I don't give a fuck anymore. I have to pass this class.
I have to graduate. Period.
So everyone does decide to like, okay, fine. We'll just work on this. Just to work on it. Just to finish. Mew was like, I'm still a fucking honor student. And I want to keep it that way.
Yeah.
So they all decide like, fine. We'll just do it.
I miss him with glasses.
Me too. I understand the metaphor.
I totally get it. And I think for the second half of the show where he has to be like hot and whatever,
yeah,
he would never have picked Gap up wearing those glasses.
Yeah.
Book is very good looking.
Yeah.
But I miss the glasses. I miss him being a little cutie wooty.
Who shows up, girlie?
And Top, again, is
he does look a little more disheveled. His hair does look messy, but it's still.
He shows up again, inopportune, and is like,
I bought you these books.
I went to the bookstore and I bought you these books. And Mew is like, thanks, I've read them. Ray, any designers that you know, Ray? And Ray's like, yeah, baby, I got you, baby. Ray is definitely in his like, I'm going to save the day era.
I know.
And Top looks miserable.
Top looks miserable.
I'll say that. Top looks not great.
For Top's life.
For Top. He would, like, that would be the best day if I looked like that.
Yeah.
That would be my best day.
And yeah, and they're fully just like, so it looks like we don't need your help anymore, so why don't, and if you want, you and Boston can, just hook back up together and do your business.
Diddle yourselves or whatever you two
fun.
need to do.
And him and Ray get a little physical because obviously Ray is now trying to be like, I got you, baby.
Yeah.
They start fighting. They start throwing hands.
Mew gets in the middle to try to break it up.
And stop them.
It goes on for a
while.
long time.
Because they're trying to build up that Top gets so frustrated that he is just throwing punches. And
he
one of them
punches Mew.
gets to Mew. Now at this point, I will say this is probably it can't get it. I hope it doesn't get any worse than this. For top. It feels like this is the lowest of lows.
This is really bad. It definitely is
What
okay. Ugh.
What's tough though is after this, I was like, obviously I know the situation getting into it, why this happened. But I was just like, there's just no getting back from this.
No, and it's
Once
like
you and for Mew, it's like if you get
it's so complicated.
it's complicated, right?
It's obviously not domestic violence, but it's also not domestic violence. And it's like, if you're trying to get back with someone, maybe don't punch them in the face. And if you're trying to get back with someone, honestly, maybe don't punch their friend.
Period.
Everyone is a mess.
Everyone leaves. Chum is like spraying Top to leave.
Yes, with the hose.
With the hose.
It's so funny. I forgot about that. Yes, she's spraying with those. Okay, fine. Ray is tending to Mew's wound, which again is just that little kiss right here. And
They're
so
laying their heads on these throw pillows on the floor.
on the floor, which are by the couch. That's where the throw pillows came from. So we love to support throw pillows on a couch.
Absolutely.
Mew once again is like, "You haven't gotten over me, have you?" And Ray's like, "No, sorry, girl.
No, sorry. And I just want to know why.
Why won't
Why
you?
won't you
Why won't
open
you
up to
pick
me?
me? Am
Yeah,
I not enough?"
Yeah.
And he says, "You're not enough. You're just not right."
And Ray is like, but will you at least give me a chance? And like, it's not like Mew gives him a clear answer.
Yeah, we're left, with a who knows where this
We're
is
left
going
with
to
a
go.
who knows.
Top is back at home,
Tab is back at
contemplating,
home, contemplating, crying,
reminiscing, thinking about
naked.
He's so hot in this scene. It's so crazy. Thinking about the silent disco.
Silent disco.
Mew's throwing it back onto Ray. At the club.
And Sand sees him.
And Sand walks in and is like, "Now what the fuck is going on here?"
And that's the end of the episode.
Now these could just be two bottoms out on a night out.
Yeah,
a night out on the town.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling it's gonna be
something's gonna.
And I'm gonna say this: Khao and Book are very attractive
together.
Yes, in a way that I was not expecting.
You know why? They look like mean gays.
Yes, I wanted to be beat up.
No, I wanted.
They're the two guys who are like, "You don't look like."
Hey.
How old is your photo?
Yeah. Oof. No hookups, Adam.
No hookups all episode. There was like the start
of one with Gap.
And then obviously that devolved really quickly.
God, he's so hot.
And we were hoping for maybe a hookup with Ray and Sand in the bathtub, but alas, we didn't see anything. So no hookups.
But how about threats? At the last episode, everyone is at the highest threat level.
It's code black. Okay.
Just the pit.
Boston
is at the 6th level.
I'm going to say Top.
I'm going to say Top.
Top just punched Mew. Yeah.
Just the two of them and everyone's still at 5?
Yeah, I can't even say that like Mew is dropped because like he's now at his messiest
Messiest. I think Mew and Ray will have a Cat 6 moment next year.
I mean, maybe for this episode, I might drop Nick and Sand 1 because they're both like, I don't know.
They're in their like aftermath. They're in the aftershocks.
They're it's happened and now they're recovering. Mm-hmm. Everyone else is still like in the trenches. Yeah. It's so bad. Who is your MVP for this episode?
It's Nick, obviously.
Oh.
This breakdown, I think it's between Nick or Mew, but I'm going to pick Nick.
I'm picking Mew.
I think Nick's breakdown is just it's heart-wrenching.
It is I had a visceral reaction to watching him cry in a way that I was not anticipating from the show whatsoever. I think Mark is very good, and I think he is I wouldn't say underused, but I would say maybe underappreciated. I don't know how much discourse there is about the show. I don't because we're doing it late.
Yeah.
But I think he's definitely proven that he is capable of.
And he's got a lot of like supporting roles in the new lineup.
Yeah.
So I hope there's another role like this that's pretty meaty for him to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think those two scenes in a less capable hand would feel very amateur, and they did not seem that way at all. They've really, you could feel the heartbreak, which was really cool. I'm gonna say book because Mama,
She fucking turned it.
I love this like 180 into
Absolutely.
a bitch, and there was a part of me that wanted the show to then turn into like a revenge thriller, and it would become like he would start killing people. Like that would be a slay. I thought it's a completely different show from what's happening, obviously, but
This is just
and
as
that's
good.
not Mew's character. I
No.
totally understand that, but
This is
it would have
just
been
as good.
crazy.
Yeah. And it's connecting all the dots that we felt like were missing in the first part of the show.
Yes.
For his
and I
character.
think even without speaking the language, you can feel those like jabs he has at like Boston and Top of like those digs. They're so pointed. It's really good. I like that. I think he's really good.
The mess continues, girl.
The mess continues next week with episode 8. There's going to be cops. There's going to be drugs. There's going to be a
Cops.
party. There's going to be...
Cutting lines.
Oh, it's going to be bad. It's not going to get better.
No.
Maybe episode... No, I can't even say episode 11 because that's always the worst episode.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.